Time for a nice relaxing Friday night in England. And what's this? Oh! Someone has updated the Games Workshop app to show the changes for the September balance patch, but then very quickly change it back again. But those 40k app users that saw the info took screenshots, and now a lot of information is known about what is coming. We saw that with the Celestian Insidiance leak, the Games Workshop confirmed it quickly, and Games Workshop has now rushed out the balance patch. Heads are rolling at the Games Workshop HQ this Friday night. This first video on the balance patch is going to take note of the Sisters of Battle, the Deathwatch, the Imperial Agents, and also a cheeky bit of Dark Eldar. And then you can come back here for news on the Genestealer cult. Okay, we can continue. First, we have a big rule change. At least if you play tournaments, at least if you play Games Workshop's tournaments. The Challenger cards are no longer used in tournaments run by Games Workshop. Use them elsewhere, sure, but that is just another set of cards from the expensive 2025 to 2026 mission deck that lots of you won't use. So no twists, no asymmetric missions, many of you are not using the incursion cards. Tournament play is really stripping back the value of these cards, and I get the reason. The Challenger cards were meant to give a little bit of a boost to the player who is lagging behind. What they did was give the second player a bit of an advantage, because the second player can choose to drop behind in points before going for a big final turn, and they can amass 12 victory points throughout the game from Challenger cards. I have been in tournaments where my opponent will choose to avoid achieving a secondary mission worth 5 victory points, so that in the next turn they can have a new mission to achieve worth 3 victory points. But they got a command point from discarding a secondary mission. It was a stupid move overall, but it's something that has worked in big tournament matches. Most of the time, most of the games, a few victory points extra from Challenger card just keeps it interesting. But it can swing the game and feel like one player was given an unfair catch-up advantage that they didn't even need. Okay, the Adepta Sororitas. The headline army I know many of you are here for, though of course you're going to watch for a bit longer because YouTube has started thinking that people are bots. So unless you comment something like, I am not a bot, but I think Jim is a bot, or saying, I like this video, then your view isn't counted. So please keep watching the video throughout the Sisters section. And comment. The Sisters have gotten some help. Not all of the help that was needed, but it is positives for the Sisters this time. It's nothing like December 2024. There are no changes to revert back the Bringers of Flame detachment rule ranges, or for the Army of Faith to gain more Miracle Dice. The Hallowed Martyrs and the Champions of Faith meta is expected to persist. We may remain on a 50% win rate for a while. We have 4 positive point changes. Celestine is down from 160 points to 150, that's a drop of 10 points. Astrid and Agatha are down by 15 points, from 85 to 70. That is very good. They're a very nice unit to use in the Champions of Faith, and they will get their own video soon enough. The Imagifier is listed as going down 10 points, but is still showing at 65 points. It was not 75 points before. I am assuming that much like what happened to the Repentia in the previous June balance patch, they were listed as going down some points, but the points were not deducted. So do expect that the Imagifier will come down to 55 points. 5 Retributors are now 105 points instead of 115 points. That is the good number. That is specifically the number I requested. It's the same number as we had in April 2024. And there is an improvement again to their unit ability. Now you get both parts of the previous unit ability if you are attacking an enemy marked for Retribution. So if an enemy has destroyed one of your sister units, you reroll hit rolls and wound rolls of 1, and also you add 1 to hit rolls and add 1 to wound rolls. So a Strength 9 Multi-Melter attacking a Toughness 10 tank will now hit on a 3+, rerolling hit rolls of 1, and wound on a 4+, rerolling wound rolls of 1. That is an improvement. That is good. I'm feeling that Retributors now can start to work. And my biggest complaint has been dealt with. Because one OK ability, or in certain circumstances a different OK ability, but never both, well now it's both. Both is good. Get your sisters painted, as this is all good news. And you can do that better with golden maple brushes. And I have a discount code to give you. Not an affiliate link, a discount code. follow the link in the description, use discount code Vtuber at checkout for 15% off some very nice brushes. Have a gift in what is thankfully not a trying balance patch time, at least not for the sisters. There is nothing for the Dogmata. Evidently my battle report on Monday, where the Dogmata did something, was good enough for Games Workshop to stop any thought of improving her. My fault, I guess. And as punishment, there is no points drop on Repentia, and no points drop on the Exorcist. That is what I wanted. To further help the sisters, remember that the Helverin and Warglaive armigers are both very affordable at 140 points to give more damage to our army, and the Helverin affects enemies with -1 to hit now. You shoot them, that enemy is -1 to hit for their turn, combat or shooting. If you're not using the Army of Faith that has that stratagem to do that to an enemy unit, the Helverin is a good unit to consider to really inconvenience some enemies, and a good unit to consider at damage 3. But I like the Warglaive. We don't know anything about new detachments yet. They may come next week when the balance patch was intended to drop, and there are no points for the Celestian Insidiants because those are not due for release until 2026. Okay, let's move on to the Deathwatch. Now, the Deathwatch needed help in the meta. They were not doing well, not even compared to other Space Marine armies. So, to help, 10 Deathwatch veterans are 10 points cheaper, going from 200 points to 190. The Fortis kill team is down by 20 points, from 200 to 180. That is not much more valid than before. I prefer 10 Deathwatch veterans for a very similar price. There is much more versatility, and I like their special rule much better. Being able to reroll hit rolls is better than a situational +1 to hit and +1 to wound, and that's on enemies that are nearly destroyed. The Spectrus kill team is also down 20 points to 180. You can do some fancy shenanigans with assassination using this kill team. The important Talon Strike kill team is down 15 points from 290 to 275. This is one of the staple kill teams, although a few squads of Assault Marines with the jump packs is gonna do better. At least for controlling objectives, perhaps not so much for damage, but for damage, we have other kill teams, like the Indomitor kill team, which is down from 270 points to 250. This is a very nasty kill team. Watchmasters are also down by 10 points from 105 points to 95 points. This is a saving of like 100 points across the army. That's about enough for another 5 Deathwatch veterans in your average 2,000 point list. And as these are the Deathwatch that are part of the Adepta Sororitas, they have the Adepta Sororitas keyword. Small squads of Assault Intercessors remain at 190 points, but a squad of 10 is up to 170 points. Still far cheaper than a Talon Strike kill team. The Ballistus Dreadnought is up by 10 points, and Blade Guard veterans are up by 10 points for a squad of 6. The squad of 3 remains at 80 points. So if you want to have them fight with a Judicia, who has the Thief of Secrets, a squad of 3 is still a very good choice. For transporting them into combat without using the Teleportara abilities of the Black Spear Task Force, the basic Land Raider is down by 20 points, and the Land Raider Redeemer is down by 15 points. Land Raiders can be very oppressive and a good way to transport big kill teams or for big Blade Guard squads. The other points changes for Space Marines include 6 Aggressors going down by 20 points, so they now cost 200 points, the same as 2 times 3 models. The Gladiator Valiant tank is 10 points cheaper, and a Redemptor Dreadnought is 15 points cheaper. I didn't think that one was particularly necessary. I find Redemptor Dreadnoughts to be pretty nasty whenever I face them. So Deathwatch armies have become quite a bit cheaper. Wonderful. We'll see how that pans out in the meta as to whether one extra squad is enough to tilt us towards 50% win rate. At this time we have no new information on the Deathwatch Kill Team models that are going to come out in Kill Team Toonworld. That may come out next week as Kill Team Toonworld is available with the new models. And I am hoping that the previous Deathwatch Veteran Kill Team rules do not just disappear. The Agents of the Imperium have something. The Imperial Agents version of the Deathwatch Veterans and the Watchmaster is also down by 10 points, same as for the Adepta Sororitas Deathwatch. But one Battle Sister squad allied out to other Imperial armies is still 115 points for that one sister. Voidsmen at Arms are still listed as being on 32mm bases, even though they are and always have been sold on 25mm bases. So the same care is being taken on the Imperial Agents as ever. They are an army without a proper army rule. There is a change to Inquisitors as well. The basic Inquisitor and Inquisitor Draxus have lost the ability to join keyword Deathwatch kill teams. Now this was confusing, as there is an Imperial Agents unit called the Deathwatch kill team, but also in the Imperial Agents Legends, there are loads of other Deathwatch kill teams with that keyword. And in the Adepta Sororitas version with the Deathwatch index, those kill teams are also Deathwatch kill teams. That keyword has been removed. As they are removed, there are fewer kill teams they can join. However, Inquisitors can still join the Deathwatch kill team in the Agents Codex, as that is Imperium Battle Line Infantry. Same for the Adepta Sororitas Deathwatch veterans. And on this night, this very busy night, the Dark Eldar Codex has also leaked. Here is Lady Malys, very nice looking model. The Hand of the Archon kill team finally gets its own 40k datasheet in the upcoming Dark Eldar Codex. Maybe there's hope for the Brood Brothers kill team in the kill team game to get actual specific rules for the Genestealer cult. That would be nice, otherwise we're just proxying them as Cadians, or another Imperial Guard unit. And I like the Dark Eldar stratagem Double Cross, to have a different unit attacked instead of the one you want to protect. It's a lot like the Sisters of Battle Hallowed Martyrs Suffering and Sacrifice. The next video you'll see on my channel is the Genestealer cult version of this, looking at how they've been treated in the balance patch, and I have to say, it is nowhere near as good as what the Deathwatch and Battle Sisters got. Oh my, that's a reason to subscribe. I hope this balance patch has treated you well, so you have a great day of 40k.